G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated Podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Today's episode, I haven't done one of these for a while. It's the next entry of the My Journal series, the fifth one, How Good, where we have a look at what I was thinking during some of my most difficult times. I'll tell you what, there's a bit of contextual information that I think is quite interesting, which I'll go through at the end of the episode. So hold on tight. I think it's very interesting. It is well worth listening to the end. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say if you're enjoying the show, feel free to like, subscribe, give us a rating and share it around with your mates. I've noticed that on Spotify, I'm sitting on 41 5-star reviews, which is great, but we're stalled at 41 for a little while now. So if you could get on there and vote 5 stars, that would be great for the algorithm. Okay, and you can follow the show on Instagram as well at thedysregulated.podcast, or you can follow me at elliot.t.waters. Okay, let's get into it. My Journal 5, and then I'll tell you a bit of contextual information that I think is really quite insightful. So, all right, let's get into it. 2 days ago, I desperately needed to escape this hell called my life. Oh, such a positive start. What followed this thought was bulk amounts of lorazepam and modafinil, complete loss of memory, and for a brief moment, peace and quiet. Oh, there's a bit of positivity. That's good. It's not all bad. Bit of gratitude. Okay, we continue. But it never lasts. I was on the phone to some friends, and these two friends I was trying to have a conversation with, brackets, because by this point my speech was hurried, slurred, and mostly unintelligible. My friends deemed it necessary to come over, pick me up, and upon their first viewings of me, take me to the hospital. Throughout this, I thought it was a bit of a joke, that my life and me myself is a bit of a joke. What isn't a joke, though, is the pain and worry I caused my friends, or even how I had no clean clothes left, or that as I sit at my computer, I'm surrounded by empty energy drink and VB cans. There are plenty of disposable vape cartridges and empty medication boxes all over my room. This is a nightmare. What sort of person will be okay with this way of being? My hands are shaking and I'm sweating profusely. I am hungry, I think, but the thought of eating feels beyond me. There isn't anything in the fridge anyway. I'm tired but cannot sleep. I want to listen to music, but even my old favourites AC/DC and Oasis can't get me out of this particular slump. I have an unkept beard and my eyes are looking hollow and lifeless. I don't go outside my room often, so I'm also starting to look thin and pale. Doing wonders for the self-esteem. At least I have some level of insight into my predicament. Not too sure, though, how to fix it. Anyway, the positive is that we're still in the fight. There is no surrender here, but we have been beaten up pretty badly. I press on, wounded but stoic. Okay, so again, my journal entry is so negative because, like I've said before, I only resort to writing journal entries when I'm really bad. So I've been looking for a positive spin, a nice positive journal entry, and I'm still struggling to find it. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is that it doesn't actually come from my journal, my handwritten journal. This was on my computer. A couple of days ago, I turned my computer on and I was going to do a journal entry from the journal, the physical journal. And when I opened the computer, what I just read out there was typed up in the notes section on my computer. Now, it's weird because it's almost like this journal entry is a hybrid of a couple of years ago and of recently. So lorazepam and modafinil are two medications I've been prescribed. Lorazepam I've had in the past, but modafinil I've actually got prescribed now. And I didn't have it in the past, modafinil. So the lorazepam modafinil combination is a very sort of recent new thing. But being surrounded by empty energy drink cans and VB cans, thankfully that hasn't happened for a while. That's from back in the day. So my suspicion is that at some point I was on this lorazepam modafinil. Remember the complete loss of memory? I think this has happened very recently. I think I was writing a journal entry about what's going on at the moment, but also tied in some themes and issues from in the past as well. Because listening to music and it not doing the job is a problem I've got at the moment. My hands are shaking and I am sweating profusely. And I'm also hungry, but the thought of eating has felt beyond me more recently. So it's interesting. I have an unkept beard. That's a recent thing. I'm growing this beard out, my depression beard. That is a recent phenomena that wasn't happening a couple of years ago. But when I read this about my friends coming over and taking me to hospital, that was like 18 months ago. So it's very, very weird. I've got a feeling, as I said, I've written this entry when I've had probably too much lorazepam. I don't remember writing it. And it's probably just a bit of a general snapshot of what it's been like for quite a while now. And I've tied in some themes and issues from recently and in the past as well. The problem is, a lot of the stuff in the past is still relevant today. So that journal entry, although, I think it bridges the gap between, 18 months ago and today, a lot of it is still very, very relevant. The positive is that we are still in this fight, and we are, that's true, and there is no surrender here. But, as it says at the end, we have been beaten up pretty badly. And the thing is, I look back and think 18 months ago we were going through this, and here we are a year and a half later, and we're still going through this. What is the story? Morning glory. It's very frustrating. But that is why I'm back at the hospital in the intermediate mental health unit at James Fletcher Hospital. The reason I'm back there is because we haven't had the gains and the mental clarity and positivity that we've really, really wanted. So, as I said, there's no surrender. I'm not just giving in to these negative feelings. We are fighting back in a big, big way. But I really, really hope that we get some positive results soon, because you can only take so many losses, and there's been a lot of losses for me lately. So it'd be really good if we could get some wins on the board, but we're trying. So there you go. That's my Journal 5. Bit of a weird one because, as I said, it's a bit of a hybrid. There's some anecdotes in there that are more suited to what I was doing 18 months ago, but then there's some stuff in there and it's like, no, that's happening today. That's recent. So I don't know. And as I said, I don't remember writing this entry on the computer. My plan was to jump on and do a journal entry from my actual physical journal, and then this popped up and it was like, whoa, this is a bit weird. I wonder where this has come from. So there you go. All right. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that one. A bit of insight into how my mind operates. And soon I'll come out with another DBT skills episode, because I really need to get back into these DBT skills myself. So we're going to do that soon. I think it's going to be the pros and cons approach. So we'll see how we go with that one. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated Podcast.